Hello everyone, welcome to episode. My name is Amit and today we are going to see how to upload and download image or any file into database using the REST API and Spring Boot application. So let's start without wasting the time. So first let's open the STS here, create a new project, new Spring Starter project, and then provide the name to the project. Let's say upload and download. And after this, click on the next. Here you need to set a dependency called as Spring Web, then Spring Data JPA to perform the database operation and PostgreSQL driver. Then click on the next and finish. So to understand this video, the prerequisite is you need to know about how CURD operation or data operation or database operation is performed for that objects like user, student, any object. How, in short, how to store the data inside the database. If you don't know, then please comment into the comment box and let me know if you want this video. So I will create a separate video for that in depth for the CURD operation. Okay, so anyway, let's see in our application. So application is generated. Now need to write a code. So for that, create a new package, and here package provide a controller. First package should be controller. Con Controller. Then finish. Then click on new package. Click on this package and create a new package called as a service. Then click right click here and create a new package called as entity. Then click on new package again and create a repo package. Okay, now these are the basic package that we need in any Spring Boot application. So let's start writing the code. So first we need to create an entity. So what is entity? Basically entity is mapped with the table. Let's say we want to store the file, so we need a table called as a file table, which should have at least two columns. One is file ID and another column is a file, that file, actual file. Okay, so for that we are going to create an entity called as a file, and here we are providing one annotation called as a entity. Then after this we need to provide the column name, let's say ID, int ID or int file ID, and here provide annotation to mention that this is ID and generate ID automatically. Okay, so for that there is a generated value annotation, generated value, generated value, and in bracket strategy is equal to identity. That's it. So in file ID, and here we need another column called as, you can make it private. Okay, then another column should be private array of bytes, because we are going to store that file in form of byte. So here file, actual file. Okay, and here provide the column name at the rate column. Okay, column name will be file, remain file, but I want to define here definition. Definition means exact data type of that column inside the DB. So it should be column definition is equal to, I want to store it in the blob. So let me tell you what is a blob. Basically, blob is a database column type. If you want to store any big data, any big string or any big number, okay, which contain number of characters. So in that case, we can make the data type as a blob. Okay, so that's it. Our entity is ready. Now, another thing is we need to create a table inside the DB. So right now I am using the PostgreSQL. Okay, so to access the PostgreSQL, we need to open that PJ admin. In your case, if you are using the Postgres, Oracle, or any other like MySQL, so there is no issue. You can use as it is, and that entity structure will remain same. You don't need to take care. Okay, so the next thing is we want to create a table. Okay, but before creating a table, let's add the properties to connect with the database. Okay, so in the product structure you can see application.property. Here you need to add database connection detail like URL, password, username, that some other properties. So I have already copied that property. Let me paste here and we'll discuss about that properties. Okay, so I have this property already. Let me copy this and paste here. Now you can see there are multiple properties. Let's discuss in very short. This is URL. So this is the URL of my database. If you're using the MySQL, then URL will be different, like jdbc, MySQL, something like this. Okay, you can copy these things for the MySQL from the ChatGPT or any other platform. Okay, then here username of my database, password of my database, and here show is equal to true. That means if you perform any database operations, so whatever the queries that are executed by the Spring Boot, you can see that queries in the console while executing. There is another option called as a DDL-auto is equal to create. So create means whenever you start the application, that time it will check, is there any entity present into the application? Yes, we have entity called as a file. So if that entity is present, then it will create a same table, same name table inside the database. That means we don't need to create a table explicitly. That Spring Boot will take care of creation of the database. Okay, so that's why this property is equal to create. The next thing is dialect. So we are using currently PostgreSQL database. So the dialect value is this. And another thing is, if in your case you are using Oracle or MySQL, then you need to change just Postgres to MySQL or Oracle. So in short, this property will get on the internet on the chat GPT. So don't worry about it. I will put these properties in the description. Okay, you can directly copy from that. That's it. Now the next thing is we need to create a repository to connect with the database. So create a repository. So for that we need to create interface, like say file repo. Okay, file repo. Okay, then finish, then extend it from JP repository and provide here a type of that entity called as a file and ID type. It's an integer. Okay, so file ID is integer. That's it. Our repository is ready. Now the next thing is, okay, why it is giving the, okay, file. Okay, file this file. Okay, now it is good. Now the next thing is create the controller. New, right click, class, let's say file controller, and here provide the annotation @rest controller, and then create a method to upload. Okay, so to upload, write a method called as a public, return type is a response entity, and then here uh, upload method name should be upload file, and here provide a request param @request param. Where is a param? Request param. And then the next thing is we need to define a request param. So here, so input argument of that method is multi-part file, because we are going to store it in form of file. So multi-part, where is a multi-part? multipart, multi-part file. Okay, so you can see here multi-part file. That's it, file. Okay, now here we are good, and you can provide here the mapping like this. That's it. That's it. Then now we are good. Now next thing is provide the annotation called as let's say post mapping. Let's say post mapping because we are storing the file. Okay, uploading the file, and we are creating a new resource. That's why. So provide here any URL, like let's say upload. Okay, upload. That's it. Now the next thing is we need to write a service. So create a service class. We have already created a service package, new class called as a service class. Let's say file service. That's it. And here write annotation @service Then write a method like public void save file into DB, and it is accepting the file. Okay, multi-part file. Now the next thing is auto-wire our repository. Auto-wired a repository. Repository name called is a file repository. Okay, so by using that repository, we are going to save the file inside the DB. That's it. Okay, now we are good here. Now the next thing is we have the file repository object and we have the file. So now we are going to save that file into the file repository. So we are going to save that file into the table called as a file. So here the thing is, first we need to create a file object. File, this is our file object, right? File entity f is equal to new file. That's it. Inside that f dot set, okay, we have to create a getters and setters inside the file entity. So first let's create the getters and setters here. Okay, so I am using the shortcut alt shift s and generate a getter setters. Okay, let me remove this. Alt shift s, generate a getter setters, select all and generate. That's it. Now the next thing is we have the file entity. Inside the file entity, I want to store that actual file. So how to set this? Set so the in here input for that set file method is byte, because we are going to store that file in form of byte. So we can do one thing, convert that file into the byte. Get byte. That's enough. Okay, that's enough. And it is asking to throw an exception. Okay, thrown. Now that's it. So our file object is ready, and store this file object into the file repository or into the file table using the file repository. So save, and here file. Okay, now we are good. Okay, what is problem here? Okay, so we have to store this f, not a. Okay, got it. Now we are good here. Now the next thing is I want to get that file from the DB. So for this we need to write one method again. Public return type is a file. Okay, and then the next thing is get file. Okay, and then or download file. Get file is okay. Okay, get file, and then we need ID. So we need ID. By ID we are going to search that file and will return. Okay, that's it. And then we are using the file return is okay. Return, we are using that file repository. Sorry, we are using that file repository to get that file by ID. So provide here ID. Actually this method is deprecated. Okay, so what we can do here, we can use another method called as a find by ID. Okay, so what that method will do, it will go to database and it will find that record by ID and it will return that file object. That's it. Now the next thing is return. Okay, so now it is returning the optional, so we need to call here get. That's it. Okay, so our method is ready. Now let's go toward the controller and create another API called as a download API. Okay, so okay, upload API is still remaining, so we can do one thing. We can auto-wire here service, auto-wired service, file service, and file service. That's it. The next thing is file service dot save file and pass that file. Okay, now here the problem is it is asking to throw a compile time exception. No issues. Okay, and here add a return statement. Okay, so return here, let's say new response entity, and then provide here message uploaded and comma http dot status http dot created. Okay, created. That's it. So our API is ready right now. Let me format it. Now we need to create another API called as download API. Now let's create the download API. So let's write public return type is response, and we are returning that byte array. Okay, byte array, byte array. Okay, and then the next thing is it should be small. Okay, the next thing is method name. Let's say download file. That's it, and pass here at that path variable called as ID, because we need a ID, file ID, and based on that file ID we are going to download that file. Okay, so here ID or file ID and one parameter called as string file ID. Oh, file ID that we need integer. Okay, so that is enough, and that's it. Okay, right here the parameters at the rate post mapping, and inside the post mapping we need to provide the URL. Let's say download slash here provide that path variable mapping file ID. Okay, now we are good here. Now provide here the implementation. So implementation is we need to retrieve the file from by help of the file service. So file service dot find or get file. Okay, get file, and provide here file ID. So it will return us a file object, and keep this thing in mind that this file is not Java file, because there are multiple Java files in the Java, but it should be our object called as a file. Okay, it is from the demo.entity package. Now the next thing is return this file. How to return this actual file? So return response entity. Okay, response entity dot okay, and here we need to provide body. Oh, sorry, header. So in header, so we are going to return image. Okay, so you can give here content type. Okay, content type. So it's basically metadata where we are defining that what kind of thing we are going to return here. So we are returning here file. Okay, file slash what type of file? JPEG. Okay, let's say we are returning the JPEG. If you want to return the PDF, then you can mention their PDF. Okay, that's it. Not that's it. Now we need to provide here the body. Okay, body. So there's body method, body, and provide here body. So we have already file dot get file. Okay, that's it. Get file. No, not sorry. It's my mistake. File dot get file name. We have already file. Okay, and then file. Yeah, correct. File dot. There is a method called as a get file. So it will return us a byte array. That's it. Our application is ready. Let me format it. Okay, now let's upload the file here, and let's retrieve. After this, retrieve the file. But before this, we haven't created the table. We need to create a table. But as I said, there is a property in application.property called as hibernate.ddl-auto is equal to create. That means it will create automatically table inside our database. So what should be the table name? It should be file. The table name should be file. Okay, so let's check first in the database that already that table is present or not. Now you can see these are a table present, but there is no file table. Okay, so let's create our application. Sorry, let's start our application, and let's see the table will get created or not. Oh, there is some error. Let's see what is the error. Okay, so error is error type blob does not exist. Actually, we are using right now Postgres, but that blob data type is made for Oracle. But in case of Postgres, the equivalent data type is byte. Okay, byte. So let's change that data type into the file. So how to do that? Go to the entity, and here instead of blob, type here by T. Okay, byte in capital. That's it. Now we are good. Now let's start the application. Now it started successfully. So we have already checked that file table is not exist here. But as per our theory, once we start the application, that table should be here. So let's refresh this table. Now you can see that file table is here, which have two columns. One is file ID, another is the file. Okay, then we are good. Now let's open the Postman. And here you can see we have typed here the URL http is localhost 8002 upload. Now the main thing is how to upload or attach that file. Okay, so let's select here body, and in body select form data. In form data select here put that key. So what is the key here? Let's go into the application. Key is file. Okay, this should be the key request param. Okay, so that we need to keep it as a key. So file, and here need to select file, type file, and attach here file from our local. So go to the here, and I am attaching this one. Okay, now it's a video file. Let me attach, because it will attach video as well. Okay, we can upload here any file, whether it is video, whether it is a JPG or PNG, whatever. So right now I am uploading here a.html not. Let me select any PNG. Okay, static. Okay, let me select this static. Okay, selected PNG. This is PNG, and let's hit. Oh, what is happening? Why it is not accepting? Anything wrong? Let me hit it again. Upload. Okay, that local host. Okay, okay, sorry, it's spelling mistake. Local host. Okay, now let's send. Okay, uploaded. The reply is uploaded. Now go to the table and select here, select start from file. Let's see any record is there. Yes, there is a record. File 1, and there is some binary data. It is not visible or readable form. Don't worry. Okay. Now the next thing is how to download that. How to download that thing. So for this, we need to do one thing. We need to call that API called as download API. So select here get, and here download. That's it. And provide here the value 1. Send it. I can see in the response this some weird character. It is not readable. It is not readable. Okay, it is not readable in form. So what we can do here, we can do one thing. There is one option called as send and download. So click here, send and download. Now you can see here response. It is asking you to save that response. So you can select the format. Okay, there is a all file format. So don't worry. Save it as a response 5. Okay, response 5 on desktop. Save. It is stored on our desktop. So let's go on desktop. 5 response 5, but it is not in. It don't have any extension. So provide the extension like PNG. Okay, dot PNG. That's it. Okay, so it comes into the its original form. Double click. Now you can see this same image. Now let's upload some other images and let's try will it work or not. So open the Postman and then call this post API. It is very slow nowadays. Okay, post open. Now go to the body form data, select here file, and select file from your local. So I am selecting here this text file. Okay, this text or this e file. Select this file. That's it. What is happening here? Why? Okay, selected. This is also PNG. Now send it. That is uploaded. Go to the database. Select start from file, and see that file is uploaded or not. Yes, this file is uploaded to and that binary data. Now I want to get that data. So what to do here? Convert it into the get API and here download and slash 2, right? 2, because the ID of file is 2. Now send and download. So download where you want, let response 6 and save. Now let's see where is response 6. The response 6 is, where is the response 6? Oh, where it is. Okay, response 6. Now just convert this into the PNG or JPG that you want. Okay, so it is converted. Now we'll open this. Now it is working fine. That's it. So in that way, you can upload and download the files. So let me revise this entire code once again. Okay, what we did here. So basically, we have created one API called as a post mapping, having URL called as upload. After this, we are taking the file in form of multipart file, and here providing the request param file. Okay, that's it. And then we are created the one file service. Here we just taking that file and converting that file into the byte, and then by we are going to save that byte into the table. Let's see this entity structure. In entity we have taken one ID, file ID, and then we have taken one byte. Okay, because we are going to store all the information or all the image any file in form of byte. Okay, and here the column definition for Postgres is byte t, but in case of Oracle it will be blob, blob. Okay, you will get this thing on the internet easily, for like database specific information. That's it. And after this, we have another method called as get file, and we are simply calling repository dot find by id. We are passing the id and we are getting that entire file object. Then in controller we are using the download file id, and here once we get the file id, then we are calling the service class file service dot get file. It is returning the file. Once it is returning the file, we are getting bytes on that file here. So here we are writing response entity dot OK. That means response is 200. Then we are setting the headers. So in header, we are providing some metadata like content type is equal to file JPG, JPEG, and then we are providing the actual body. Okay, file dot get file. That's it. So in that way, it is working. That's all about the file upload download into the database in form of glob or in form of byte. And if you like this video, so please share and subscribe. Thanks for watching the video.